He'll definitely add quality to the team. Do I think it's going to make them Champions League winners? No.
So that and more coming up as myself and Angelina are here for another Q&A. There's a bit of maintenance work at OneFootball, so I've had to move back to these trusty offices.
Yes.
That people kind of like with all these cool scarves. Anyway, we'll get straight into the Q&A. Questions answered. Great YouTube name. Has said, how do you think Suarez would do at Atletico? Do you think he'll thrive under Simeone? Do you think Atletico could win the Champions League with a lethal striker? And, here we go. Do you think a frontliner Suarez, Diego Costa and João in behind would be successful?
Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing Suarez at Atletico. I think it's a good move. He gets to stay in Spain. I think he will do well under the manager. Do I think that they're going to win the Champions League just because they've got one lethal striker? I don't think so. I think the other players need to perform as well. It depends what happens with Partey as well. So I can't see them rivaling the likes of Bayern, to be honest. So at the moment, Champions League, I wouldn't say so. I think a front line, I think it 100% could be successful. I think the thing with Atletico was the lack of goals. Obviously with Morata now at Juventus, he was, I think, what did he get, like 16 in the league, and that was like, the best that they could get. Costa with like 5 or something. So getting somebody in like Suarez, who it allows him to, be the star of the show, I guess, which will be nice for him. And there's no doubting that he scores goals. He's had a fantastic career. That's what he does best. So yeah, I think he'll definitely add quality to the team. Do I think it's going to make them Champions League winners? No.
I have no idea why people are talking about Diego Costa in this front line. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Diego Costa doesn't play anyway.
Exactly.
When Morata's fit, they're not playing a front three because neither Suarez nor Costa are going to be one of the wide men in the front three. If they play a front two, then you're taking João Felix out of the number 10 role. So, yeah, I agree with you in the Champions League. One striker is going to get them there. Costa's not even part of this. Costa's still a backup to Morata. Yeah. As in he was, now he'll be a backup to Suarez.
Yeah.
Suarez and João Felix will be a good mix for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, Costa's, no, he's useless. Everyone seems to like it because it's like you're getting two absolute shithouses of football to play alongside each other, and they think it's just going to be biting and fighting and red and yellow cards. No. Costa's always been a backup, still going to be a backup. He might start the odd game like he did, but I can't see how you start all three of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, win Champions League because of a 33-year-old Suarez or 34-year-old Suarez.
No.
I'm not sure that good.
Okay, so next question is from Lorenz Prella. Is Dele Alli good enough for PSG? He was brilliant but has fallen down somewhat under Mourinho. Is he even good enough for Tottenham?
Well, my thoughts on Mr. Alli. Just painful to watch. Was such a talented midfielder when he came into Spurs in those first few seasons. And then it just seems to me, and I've said it many times before, I don't want to repeat myself, he is such a good player in a good team.
Yeah.
There's nothing about him which drags teams forward. He's got that one ability that you can always rely on. It just doesn't happen. If all of his flicks and tricks and his short passing and his, getting in the right position, if he's got a great team around him on a good wavelength, that's fine. And it all works and they all get it and it comes off and he gets into the box as a brilliant speedy winger, goes to the byline and pulls it back for him. Or he's got a forward-thinking, brilliant player who can make, his flick into a nice 1-2. If he doesn't, which he didn't at Spurs, because Spurs weren't a very good team last season, he's got nothing. He just sort of sits there and he lays it off, and then someone else takes the ball and then does another pass. And it's all very disjointed. He has to be part of such a fantastic team with brilliant players around him, which I think he will be at PSG, especially in that front line. Having said that, I revert to what I normally say about PSG, where they keep signing these players who are good enough to win Liga, but not the Champions League.
I agree.
Dele Alli is another one. He's another one who will get 10 assists or more, 10 goals or more, right? He'll be good and he'll win you games 4-0 against Angers and whoever else and all these other French teams, right? And then it will come to the Champions League and he's nowhere near good enough to take on Bayern Munich or the other big teams. So he's another one who have a good season. You'd think that PSG would win Ligue 1, although it's not looking too good for them at the moment. But he's not that type of quality player that's going to take him. Look, if Neymar and Mbappe can't count to the Champions League win, Dele Alli's definitely not. Is he good enough for Tottenham? I'd have him as a squad player.
Yeah, I agree.
It's harsh. Right, Yannick has said, will Morata have success at Juve? We just talked about him leaving Atleti.
Yes. I think we'll have to wait and see with this one. I mean, he's been at the club before. He's had his fair share of trophies, etc. So, looking forward to seeing him play. I'm not sure if it will be maybe like him and Ronaldo as a 2 up front, or they'll have him maybe more in like Dybala's position, or I'm not too sure how all these moving parts at Juventus will work. But yeah, I think he'll be a good addition. I don't think he's going to, be surpassing, the stardom of Ronaldo, shall we say. But I'm not mad at the transfer at all. I'm just interested to see how it's all going to work there.
I just don't get it. I just don't think Morata's top level.
I guess that's the other thing.
It's quite odd that you've to sign him.
Yeah, I guess if you look at, they got rid of Higuain, then there was this whole Suarez situation that's not worked out, obviously. Then it's like, then I remember we were talking about, why they bring in kind of an older player in. And then I guess you look why they bring in a player like him that's a good player, but not necessarily that kind of next level kind of star. So
this is the thing. He's almost a backup. Well, he is a backup. But yeah, he's a decent backup than having an older guy. If he was that good, I'm not sure Atletico would have bothered letting him go and getting Suarez in. If he was that good. They would have gotten rid of Costa or someone else first. It doesn't quite sit right for me. I'm not sure he's all he's cracked up to be. His goal scoring record, in all his career, I think he's 27 now, I believe. He's hit double figures twice in his whole career, maybe 3 times. Never scored over 20 goals in the league season. I may be wrong, there may be one, but I'm pretty certain that there's not over 20 goals in the league season. I just think it's a bit of an odd signing, and he might spend, a lot of time on the bench. But having said that, he might also spend a lot of time on the bench behind Suarez if he stayed at Atleti. So, give and take.
Yeah. Okay. So next question is from Slangalani Churchill. How do you think Nelson Semedo will fit into Wolves? Will he have more success than Doherty?
More success for Semedo. He's playing a different system because Barcelona play the back 4 and Wolves are the back 3 or a back 5. So I feel like he'll be a bit more liberated in going forward as a wing back, and maybe won't have to worry about his defensive duties too much, and that could really suit him. He's definitely a good player. He's been at Barcelona for a few years, a Portuguese international. I think he's really good. I think he's better than Doherty going forward. I lie. He's better than Doherty going forward in the way that Barcelona played.
Yeah.
This will be different. Doherty did very well for Wolves because he got into these attacking areas without having to worry too much about being in a back 4. Now that Doherty's back in a back 4 at Spurs, it's not as impressive. So you'd like to think that Semedo would fit in really well and he'd get forward really well and he'd, sort of replace Doherty really well. Whether he'd have more success, who knows? Are you counting success by the goals and assists? Because those aren't exactly the top barometers for a fullback or a wing back. But in this Wolves system, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Right, NKBAJ said, is Harry Maguire overrated? Oh, NKB thinks he is. Says from a United fan.
I think when you have got a price tag on your head like Harry Maguire's, and you have other defenders in your league, around Europe really, Van Dijk is a perfect example, that plays better. I think you're always going to be classed as underrated because of that price tag and because there are other players around that are probably better and maybe were on a similar, level money-wise, but obviously he's cost more than some. I guess it's a real tough one, especially as a United fan. I think, like I say, about the price tag, but I think the problem why people are maybe coming for him so hard with this whole Maguire-Lindelof situation is that if you look at Manchester United kind of centre-backs over the years, you look at, your Ferdinand and your Vidic, your Pallister, Bruce, etc. They always kind of complement each other in that Maguire, as much as he is very calm on the ball, I think he makes some good passes. I think he's good at what he does. He's not quick enough at all. And I think United I would probably say Vidic was more kind of that Maguire style, and Ferdinand, maybe when he was a little bit younger, was more of that quicker defender. And I think that's what they're lacking, and I think Lindelof can't necessarily bring that. So I think that's why he's looked at as being a bit more kind of overrated. I can see where people are coming from, but it's only his second season at Manchester United. He has improved. And like I say, with the price tag, he ain't going anywhere, so people should just get comfortable with it at the moment.
But that's the thing as well. I don't know how you can judge someone over such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
You have to give, like, Maguire time to prove he's worth that much money. If he stays at United for 10 years and puts in good consistency, then, whatever it is, 8 million per season is an absolute steal. Who else are you going to go out and get for that kind of money per season over that longevity?
Because people weren't necessarily saying this as much at the beginning of last season when Lindelof wasn't as shaky. People weren't really coming out and saying this like, everyone was buzzing that United had got Harry Maguire. Yeah. And now that things are a bit rocky, it's very easy to turn and say, he's overrated, he's not worth the money, blah, 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 until you get a person that complements him more. I know they're trying with Eric Bailly. They've got this youngster Mengi that could be coming in. And if they sign someone, which they probably won't because it's United, until you find that pairing that works, and like you say, you've got to give him more than one season and a few months, I don't think you can call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, what are people expecting from him?
Exactly.
Knowing football fans these days, they're probably expecting like 10 goals.
Oh yeah, the fact that he's not scored, a header every other game means that he's absolute trash. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it blows my mind. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think he's absolutely fine, Harry Maguire. I think he's a very good defender. When you buy from another English club, you're going to have to pay more because those clubs have more money, so they can say no up to a higher amount. That's the way English football works. It's not to do with an English tax, of English people thinking their players are better. It's just the fact that smaller clubs, smaller Manchester United, have money, so don't need to accept small amounts anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like the old days. Not like when the gap between United and Leicester would have been huge financially, that they'd have to accept 4 million back in the 90s. The gap is much smaller now in terms of what's livable for a football club. The 50, 60 million, Leicester don't really need it.
Yeah.
They get shitloads from being in the Premier League and challenging for the Europa League, so they can hold out. Yeah. Every team can hold out. Aston Villa are relegation candidates, and they don't need 40 million for Grealish. They can hold out for 60. Yeah. So that's what's happening. Right, last one. Let's round up the show.
So this is from Shreya Sankaran. Who are your favourite managers of all time? That's a tough one.
Are you asking for our favourites or our best, Mr. or Mrs. Treyas? Because we always get slated for this on the channel. I say me.
Yeah.
Every time someone's like, "What? You didn't mention Klopp or Zidane?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's not my favourite."
I think regarding favourites, I mean, you're obviously going to go with. I won't go down the Fergie route. I mean, he would technically be my favourite because he brought me the most joy as a football fan.
Absolutely.
But I think for other reasons, I'd probably go with Mourinho, just because for an entertainment purpose. I think some of the things that he's achieved, I mean, I know, recently people have questioned if he's still as good, but I think what he's achieved over his career, you watch the documentaries about this Bible and all this type of stuff, I just think it's really something to applaud, and I think he does get a lot of hate. But I think at the core of it is somebody who absolutely worships the game, wants to win, wants to do well, wants to see players do well. Yeah, there are dramas and, you know, all the special one stuff, it is entertaining. But for me, that's who I'd go with.
Exactly. Your favourite could be absolutely anything.
And he poked someone in the eye, which was funny. Not saying that's okay, but it was funny.
I could never hate a manager, as I always say. I haven't got time to be walking this earth hating people, especially people that I don't know. I could dislike a few managers for sure. When it comes to my favourite, Harry Redknapp was great. Yeah. Entertainment value, funny stories, took Tottenham to the Champions League for the first time. Harry Redknapp was definitely very funny. Again, obviously Spurs related. I loved Martin Jol at Tottenham. Absolutely loved him. As for now, who's a favourite? I don't know. They're all just doing their job, really. I can't think of anyone who's that.
Another one, Ian Holloway. He was always always brilliant.
Fantastic. One of my favourites for sure. God, he was so funny. I'm not Guardiola and Klopp. I admire, and I think they're unbelievable managers.
They don't bring the entertainment factor though. You want to be entertained at press conferences.
It's all a bit too robotic. There's no character behind them. I mean, I know the Liverpool fans especially will get hounding into the comments about Klopp. I actually find him very dislikable. But there we go. Come at me, guys. Comment section. Let us know your thoughts on that, and of course, all of the rest of the Q&A too. Thanks so much for joining us and letting us know all of your questions. You can leave yours every single Wednesday night in the YouTube community tab in the evening, where we'll post something and you can reply to it with all of your questions for that week's Q&A. So yeah, as I mentioned, leave your thoughts, smash the like button, and check out loads of the other stuff we've got going on OneFootball on the screen right now. But until next time, from myself and Angelina, we will see you guys later.